So, we got some amazing announcements with Transformers. We got Magmatron shown off. Wheeljack wasn't the final announcement for Rise of the Beast, and that was actually Scorponok. If they do more after him, in which case they probably should, because they're doing concept art with Bumblebee, so you should probably do Spidor too. And even if they don't, and Scorponok is the last, then that's good, because Wheeljack sucks. Fuck that asshole. He shouldn't have the pleasure of being the final guy. But I'm not going to talk about any of that, because I want to talk about something a bit different. Mega Construx Pokemon. It's a line that I've been collecting since around 2020, maybe earlier than that. It's the closest thing to a consistent Pokemon toy line that's decent, scales well, and full of articulation. There's been a couple of others, like the Jack Pacific stuff, but after they did Snorlax, they just kind of stopped doing them. Actually, no, I think the last ones they did were the fully evolved Gen 7 starters that were fucking ridiculously rare. And then there was also Pokemon Shoto, which is the worst case of bad marketing ruining such a great thing I've ever seen. Seriously, this is really small and fun to collect figurines of Pokemon that are hyper articulated, and yet I bet you didn't even know that they made them. Yeah, they were gonna make 10 waves, but they only made 7. They ended it off with Alakazam, which is cool because I feel like he's very underrated when it comes to merchandise. And once again, this is the second time Namco has decided to do something nice for Blaziken and Sceptile, but not Swampert. Fuck Swampert. I don't know why Namco hates such an amazing Pokemon. Why do you do this to me, Namco?
I will never forgive
Namco
for doing this. I will never forgive
Namco
for this. I'm furious. How could you do this to me? I'm not gonna watch his movie.
You know, before that line was canceled, I would say that was the toy line for Pokemon that I was looking forward to, but now that that's done and Mega Construx Pokemon is pretty much never going to end unless LEGO decides to buy it out, either to make their own overpriced sets or so they can put it in a LEGO Nintendo game that they'll probably inevitably make. This is the toy line. The problem is they haven't been doing that many stuff recently. I mean, they have been, but it's all either been really small sets, or the bigger ones are stuff that nobody wants, like a giant Squirtle, or the motion stuff, which is, I mean, kind of cool, but that's not why I get these sets. I still remember when they used to make a lot of awesome big figures, like they made Greninja, Scyther, etc., and I'm only saying that because, I don't have that many examples. It's been a while, but they have a lot of cool figures. The problem is, ever since 2020, they've only done one new figure that's actually cool per year. For 2020, they did Tyranitar. For 2021, they did a new Charizard, which granted, the old one was really outdated, so yeah, that makes sense, but I don't even think this one is particularly that good, but maybe I'll just review him. Corviknight for 2022, and it seems for 2023 they're doing Machamp, which, he's one of my favorite Pokemon ever, so that's really cool. And now we will be taking a look at how he looks. So as you can see him here, he does look quite nice. He's very interesting. He's got a super smooth head with just printing on it. I feel like they probably could have molded on the yellow lips, but hey, they got the fins on top of the head, so that's kind of cool. Look at how many curves he has. I mean, he is a muscly boy, but wow. And he has individual fingers. You see, I was worried how they do this because they usually have scrawny hands, or they have these big chunky hands. They don't really have these humanoid ones, so I was kind of worried with that. You have this dumbass kid who has the toy that I want. Me, a grown man. Why does this kid have it so early? That's not fair, is it? But yeah, you get to see it from the back. He's got this big ass, dumb, ugly rod from his back, so you can have an action feature. I personally don't mind it. I'm 99% certain you can probably remove it. Much like you can remove the dumbass disc springs from Greninja underneath his hand. And you can also do the same with Corviknight and his stupid, retarded steel wing missiles, whatever those are. But you know, toys with gimmicks, they're not so bad. So even if you can't remove it, it's kind of neat that he can do something like that, you know? So yeah, again, here's a better close-up. Although if you do remove it, he's going to have kind of an ugly hole on his back, but I don't really think that'll mind. You could probably put like a display stand there, so that'll be neat. And as we can see, the action itself will not be him double fisting, but quadruple fisting.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I probably shouldn't talk about this. This is Pokemon, and there's a lot of weirdos who play this game. You know what I'm talking about. From this angle, his head does look a little weird. Like, he's got this weird gap, like, right here. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe the too big of a circle. Like, right there, this is, like, this line that makes his head look a little bit separated and very, very disjointed and awkward, but we'll see. We'll see. There's another pose with him. It looks like at first I thought his head wasn't articulated due to how, like, ridiculously muscular his back is, but I guess not. I'm pretty sure that you can move the head at least a little bit, because, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Who knows? And there's another pose you can get him in. So he's got quite the articulation. That's good, yeah. So I don't know how excited most people are about this new Mega Construx figure, but, like, this might be my new favorite figure since the Greninja and Electabuzz 2-pack. It's been a while since one of my favorite Pokemon of all time has ever been made, and it's cool that such a big one was being released. And when you combine that with the Gengar, it gets me thinking, which one are they going to do to complete the trio of these two? Alakazam or Gardevoir? For some reason, in every single, like, new Pokemon project, Gardevoir, Machamp, and Gengar are like a trio that are in everything. They were in Pokken, they're in Pokemon Showdown, not Showdown, Pokemon Unite. I mean, I like all three of them, you know, so I think that'd be kind of nice. However, the original trio was with Alakazam. I guess there was also Golem, but he's more like a partner to ride on, so... Also, there's the fighting, ghost, and psychic trio. I mean, Machamp and Alakazam have a lot in common, and Alakazam and Gengar have a lot in common. Gengar and Machamp, not so much, but they seem to get paired more often than with Alakazam, so who knows. They also did do an Abra as one of their first figures, and they also did a pretty bad Kadabra, which I have. It's not good, so hopefully they can fix that with an Alakazam. That's quite nice. Though I'd be down with seeing Gardevoir too. Gardevoir is one of my favorite Pokemon for, I assure you, non-disturbing reasons, unlike most of you freaks. But as much as I like Gardevoir, I mean, Alakazam, unlike the other three, is in my top 5 favorite Pokemon ever. If you're curious, that would be Kartana, Alakazam, Swampert, Rhydon, and then Bisharp. Maybe Kingambit ties with them, but, you know, those would be my 5 favorites. So, I mean, yeah, I think Gardevoir would probably be a little easier. How'd they do the dress? That'd be really interesting. It'd probably have to be made entirely of rubber, which is probably why they didn't do Gardevoir yet. But, like I said, I'd be down with either. It'd be... this rivalry can be kind of like Optimus Primal versus Victory Saber, because if you don't know, there was an infamous poll for Power of the Primes of who gets to be a toy, and Optimus Primal beat out Victory Saber, and a bunch of Victory fans were whining, being babies about it. They're like, the new Optimus Primal toy sucks, so they really should have done Victory Saber, even though the toy itself is actually pretty good. They're just fucking whiny. And then you also have a lot of Victory fans say, like, Beast Wars is an overrated show, it's not that good, and my favorite show, which is just kind of a stupid 90s anime, is way better. But then they forgot that Victory Saber already beat Optimus Primal in a poll before, but this was instead of for a new toy in like the shitty Power of the Primes toy line, which one would get a masterpiece. Yeah, that was a thing. They had a poll for a new masterpiece in Victory Leo. or Victory Saber, whatever his name is. He beat Optimus Primal. So it's like a draw. Maybe they'll do that with Gardevoir versus Alakazam, you know. Alakazam beat Gardevoir in the Pokemon Shoto thing, so Gardevoir gets a new figure before Alakazam in Mega Construx. I mean, the joke's on them. The Victory Saber Masterpiece was not that good from what I hear. And then, you know, the Optimus Primal Masterpiece came out a little later, just fucking amazing. But then you have the HasLab Star Saber, Victory Saber, and it's really, really nice. And then the Optimus Primal figures were also really good. That analogy doesn't make any sense. What am I talking about? Fuck this video. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be posting for Halloween. It's going to be a pretty spicy video. It might be my most ambitious video I've ever made. It's also going to be one of my most important. Here's a clip of it with this. All right, that's all I get to see. Bye.